The member. We are considering the public interest debate, and I call the member for Ballina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to contribute to this public interest debate and note the Greens' support for the motion put by the Minister for Emergency Services. And before I just want to say to my colleagues behind me and colleagues over there, just again, we saw absolute bipartisanship. And as the member for Tweed said, we're becoming quite experienced at that. And it was interesting to see there were a couple of new reps and with a bit of ego, but that soon disappears as the reality of trying to lead and support community through these disasters hits home. I just really want to say how grateful I am that the impact was not as more significant. But I just want to join my colleagues in saying and as the member for Ballina, how in awe of my community I am. Their level of preparedness and their stoic commitment, not just to protecting themselves and their families, but their neighbours and strangers and visitors. And I could give so many stories about, not just in my neighbourhood, but what I heard of just countless acts of kindness, concern and support. I just felt so proud, and I got very emotional at times, not just because of the fear, as the member for Clarence, it was a PTSD feeling, but also the bittersweetness of just the incredible acts of kindness by people in our community. They just, that is, when we talk about resilience, we know from all the evidence around the world that social infrastructure, how we connect, how people are with each other is equidistant to how they thrive and survive these events. I've said many times, my community is at the front line, we believe, of global warming impacts, and we're adapting in real time. And I just want to say, apart from, so the volunteers that came across from the region, across the state, the response from our combat agencies and emergency response, I found being at the forefront of that after many times, I was gobsmacked. It was, everyone went into gear straight away. Those procedures are excellent, and I thank the relevant ministers because as soon as the bomb made it clear that the cyclone was going to affect our region, I believe everything shifted into gear, and it was truly remarkable to see those procedures in place. So, of course, I thank all of those volunteers. The member for Newtown wanted me to give a shout out particularly to the SES volunteers from Marrickville and Sydney of Sydney who came up, absolute champions. I want to thank the Premier for his support and his hands-on approach and reaching out to me straight away, and quite frankly his kindness, and also all the ministers. It really was incredibly welcome and supported. We felt very supported. I know my colleagues did as well, and also all the members who reached out. That means a lot to us. I don't think I do that enough to my colleagues, so I'm going to try and work on that. The Reconstruction Authority were incredible. I really want to commend the CEO, Mal Lanyon, and all the teams, because this was a test of where they're at. This was a litmus test, and I feel that the test was a huge success. So many people in my community were given evacuation orders. I want to thank the Mullumbimby RSL, the Ocean Shores Country Club, for generously opening their doors as evacuation centres, as well as Southern Cross Public School in East Ballina. I want to thank and acknowledge Mullumbimby District Neighbourhood Centre staff for going above and beyond to make sure evacuees were fed and cared for, because I know it wasn't easy. Look, as we know, not everything was perfect, but we've all taken note of the things that need to be refined and improved. And as mentioned, the evac centres, the already very high rough sleeper numbers, and what that means for them, more security staff, things like that. But I feel very confident that we can refine those. The power outages, Essential Energy, were absolutely incredible, but that is something we really need to have long conversations about, long-term power outages as these events continue. So, Mr. Speaker, we believe this. I think I'm incredibly proud of everyone, but this is the future. and we must continue to refine our processes and resource the important work of the Reconstruction Authority in adapting our communities so we can survive and thrive on a warming planet, because this is what we are now. There's no doubt for our people that this is what we're in. And to hear little children talking about the great lengths they're going through blackouts, it makes you cry. Thanks.